Did you know that one of the most famous philosophical principles, control what you can, accept what you can't, was lived out by a woman long before it became popularized by the likes of Marcus Aurelius? It's true. While names like Seneca and Epictetus dominate the conversation, there are incredible women whose contributions to Stoicism have been largely forgotten. Why is that? What wisdom might we uncover by bringing these voices to the forefront? Stick around, because today we're exploring the forgotten legacy of female Stoic philosophers, and trust me, you'll never look at Stoicism the same way again. Stoicism, a philosophy of resilience, self-discipline, and finding peace in chaos. We often hear about the great male figures, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, but that's only half the story. What about the women? Women who lived by these same principles, sometimes in even harsher conditions, and shaped the philosophy in their own right. They're not just footnotes, they're central to understanding the full scope of Stoicism. Today, we're diving deep into their stories, shining a light on their contributions, and asking why their names aren't as well known as their male counterparts. And by the end of this video, you might just find yourself inspired by their courage and wisdom. Let's start with a problem that isn't new but still needs addressing. History hasn't been kind to women, especially in philosophy. Think about it. How many women philosophers can you name off the top of your head? Now compare that to men like Plato, Socrates, or Descartes. It's no accident. Women were often excluded from the spaces where philosophy was practiced, yet they found ways to engage in it anyway. In the case of Stoicism, it's even more glaring. This philosophy is about universal truths, human equality, and personal virtue. So why has the spotlight been so male-dominated? This isn't just an academic issue. When we fail to acknowledge women's contributions, we miss out on valuable perspectives that could enrich our understanding of Stoic principles. What might we learn about resilience, courage, and self-control from those who had to fight doubly hard just to have their voices heard? It's time to correct the narrative, not just to celebrate these women, but to learn from them and apply their wisdom to our own lives. Now let's meet some of these remarkable women who lived and breathed Stoicism. First up, Hypatia of Alexandria. Born in the late 4th century, Hypatia wasn't just a philosopher. She was a mathematician, an astronomer, and a trailblazer in every sense of the word. Hypatia's life was a masterclass in Stoic principles. She faced immense challenges, not the least of which was being a woman in a male-dominated intellectual world. Despite this, she taught her students about logic, ethics, and how to live virtuously. But her story is also a cautionary tale. Hypatia's refusal to conform to societal norms ultimately made her a target. She was brutally murdered by a mob, but her legacy lives on as a symbol of intellectual courage and integrity. Then there's Porcia Catonis, the daughter of the famous Roman Stoic, Cato the Younger. Porcia wasn't just the daughter of a philosopher, she was one herself. She's remembered for her unwavering commitment to Stoic principles, even in the face of personal tragedy. When her husband Brutus was involved in the assassination of Julius Caesar, she stood by him. Her story raises a compelling question. What does it truly mean to be loyal to your principles, even when the world is against you? These women remind us that Stoicism isn't just about what you say, it's about how you live. They didn't write books or hold political office, but their actions spoke volumes. What lessons can we take from their lives? How can we apply their courage and wisdom to the challenges we face today? Here's where it all comes together. Hypatia and Porcia didn't just live by Stoic principles, they showed us the power of Stoicism in action. Let's take a closer look at Hypatia. Imagine living in a society where every move you make is scrutinized, where simply existing as an intellectual woman is seen as a threat. Yet Hypatia didn't shy away. She faced persecution with a level of grace and composure that few could match. Her death was tragic, yes, but it also cemented her as a martyr for knowledge and reason. Now consider Porcia. She's often remembered for her dramatic end. She reportedly swallowed hot coals rather than betray her principles. But her life was far more than this one act. Porcia embodies the Stoic ideal of resilience. Despite personal loss and political turmoil, she stayed true to her beliefs. These stories aren't just historical footnotes, they're mirrors for our own lives. Think about it. How often do we face situations that test our values? Do we stand firm, or do we compromise? What would Hypatia or Porcia do? Their examples challenge us to reflect on our own lives and push us to live more authentically. So, what's the takeaway? Women like Hypatia and Porcia weren't just passive participants in Stoicism. They were pioneers who lived its principles in extraordinary ways. They remind us that philosophy isn't about who shouts the loudest or writes the most. It's about how we live. By recognizing their contributions, we're not just giving credit where it's due, we're expanding our understanding of Stoicism itself. Because wisdom, resilience, and courage don't belong to one gender, they're universal virtues. Now, I want to hear from you. Did you know about Hypatia or Porcia before this video? Which story resonated with you the most? Or is there another female philosopher you think deserves more recognition? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep this conversation going. And if you want to learn more about Stoicism, check out our video on the Stoic principles that can change your life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into philosophy. Until next time, stay strong, stay Stoic.